She is the mother of all Buddhas, and it's taught that Tara as a goddess is relied upon by all Buddhas. There's this beautiful sense of her as an emanation of the primordial wisdom, or the Prajnaparamita in Buddhism, so this kind of deep eternal wisdom. There is also this sense of her as the mother, the responsive mother. And one of the things that Tara does that I think is so profoundly relevant is that she manifests instantaneously. So it's not a question of delay, it's a question of opening our hearts to that immediate response. There's a beautiful story that my Dzogchen master, before he left his body, he shared some stories about his experiences. And one of those experiences was when he left Tibet and he moved to Italy. And he walked into a church and saw a statue of Our Lady, Mother Mary, and he looked at it and he said, "Oh, it's Tara." And there is this lovely sense in that story of the universality of Tara. So she is the divine feminine essence. She is Mother Mary. She is known as, in her white goddess, white Tara form, as Sarasvati from the Hindu tradition. There's a conflation there. I sense her as red Tara as the goddess Isis. Black Tara is the goddess Kali. So she is this one being. This green Tara is her source energy. And we'll talk a little bit about her in a moment, but she manifests in infinite forms. And this is an expression, not just literally that she shows up in these colors, but have a think about what colors mean. These are vibrations, these are qualities that have a feeling tone to them. They are not only literal, they're also symbolic. So this represents her capacity to be all accomplishing, which means she delivers what's needed, which is why all the Buddhas rely on her. She's profoundly reliable. And she delivers in a way that we get not only what we want, but in a way that it feeds what we need. And through that, because we are all connected, all beings actually benefit. So there is this beautiful sense of affirmation and positivity. It's not about praying for what we want and then feeling that there's some selfishness in that. This is a completely different energy because of her wisdom nature. So the story of the Tara Tantra, being the written teachings that we have access to about this goddess, is where we get this concept of the 8 fears and the 8 laughters, which I'll talk about briefly today. So the story goes that the Buddha was, the night before his enlightenment, he was sitting under the Bodhi tree. And as happens when we're we're making spiritual progress and something really amazing is about to unfold, maybe we're going to have a breakthrough of some kind, there was a massive force of resistance. Now, for the Buddha, this manifested as hordes of demons that were trying to distract him from keeping focus on his meditation. Now, in our own lives, when we're having breakthroughs, it might not be hordes of demons, might feel like it, but it might be things like not being able to manage our mind, or finding that there are just obstacles after obstacles, and these almost like spiritual tests or initiations that we're going through before we can have the breakthrough. So Buddha was forced to confront this. This was what was happening. And then it said that Tara manifested herself spontaneously and laughed. And as she laughed, she just shattered all of those demons, all of those energies, just absolutely overcame them. And Buddha was then empowered to be able to turn his mind to meditation unobstructed. And through the night, he became enlightened. And then after this enlightenment, uttered the Tara Tantra. So the teachings came. Now, something very beautiful in this. Tara, this primordial wisdom, the divine feminine, is this rescuing, she's known as a savioress, that's her energy. So it's this rescuing, supportive energy that doesn't do for us. Buddha still needed to do what he needed to do. We still need to live our life path and journey. But she manifests what is needed to protect and facilitate, to empower us to be able to do what we're here to do, to become the fruition of what is our spiritual and sacred destiny. So she's there in the process. And then the Tara Tantra being uttered also shows that she's also what comes out of that process, which means not only does she lift us and inspire and heal and protect, but as we become the fullness of our being, we also become Tara. We become this energy that moves into the world to help others accomplish this. So this leads us to this sense of being able to place trust in her because she has this innate intelligence and this innate fullness. She is in everything, and she manifests in all things as this kind of grace that we can never avoid. You know, I saw this funny meme on social media not that long ago, and it was called ominous positivity, right? And it was stuff like, good things are going to happen. You can't avoid it. Like, or, you know, Tara's got this sorted. She's going to support you. There's no way around it. Grace is going to get you in the end. It's just this feeling that we can't escape it. And so often I think we feel what we can't escape is the negativity. But Tara is an emanation and a reminder that what we actually cannot escape is the grace and the fruition. It's just that sometimes it's profoundly difficult. And when we are at that cusp of any kind of breakthrough, and we're having it collectively on the planet at the moment, we're in a pretty big healing crisis. We also will have it in our personal lives when we're really grappling with something, and we'll feel the pushback. And this is what I think of as a birthing contraction. It's like a spiritual push of the soul. So it's not necessarily a bad thing at all. It can be a sign that we are actually in process, but she's there for us with that.